TelexFREE training series. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to pay an invoice with a bank deposit instead of using a credit card. You'll see here that I'm in a back office of an account, and the way this works is basically you would go out, you would register, go through the whole registration process. When you get to the screen where it asks you to pay with a credit card, you just stop, don't go any farther, and then you go back and you log into your account. So you go to TelexFREE.com, log into your back office, and when you get into your back office, you'll see up at the top here where it says Invoice. And if you click on Invoice, it will bring you to this page, and this page will show the invoices that have been created. So you'll see here when we first created this account, it created this invoice number, and then also this is the one, of course, for the service. The idea is that when you come in here, you want to write down the invoice number that you want to pay. It will show the invoice that you've created, and you want this invoice number. Then you go to the bank, and you want to make a deposit to the TelexFREE bank account. They have two banks that you can use to make a deposit to. You can use Bank of America or TD Bank, Toronto Dominion Bank. Toronto Dominion Bank is mostly on the east coast of the U.S. Bank of America is scattered throughout most of the United States. But you have to use one of these accounts. So you can see on the screen here the Bank of America, the account number, the routing number, TD Bank, the account number, the routing number. What I do is I just go to a Bank of America, I fill out a deposit slip, and tell them that I want to make a deposit into the TelexFREE bank account. You want the deposit to be in the exact amount of the invoice. So if you're creating an invoice for an Ad Central, then you want to make a deposit for $339. That's the Ad Central plus the $50 enrollment fee. If you're paying for a family plus the enrollment fee, you make the deposit for $1,425. You want that deposit to be the exact amount of the invoice. And if you're upgrading or something, you have multiple additional Ad Centrals, you can just add those up and figure out whatever the deposit needs to be. So you go to Bank of America or TD Bank, you make that deposit. The bank will print you out a little deposit receipt. It's just a smaller piece of paper, kind of a third of a page piece of paper. You take that receipt and then you write on it the username and the invoice you are paying. And see, I talk about this in my little description up here. You write on the deposit slip your username and the invoice that you are paying for. Scan that into your computer, create it as a PDF file in your computer, and then you email it to the company at this email address, banktelexfree@gmail.com. And then in the email, you just very simply just say, please pay this invoice, username, invoice number in the email. The company is going to look mostly at the deposit slip, so make sure you write very legibly and make sure that you have the correct username and invoice on that deposit slip, because that's what they're going to look at. And it can take, sometimes those will get recorded in a day. Sometimes those will get recorded in several days. It can take several days to record those. You have to keep looking every day and see if that invoice has been paid. And it's important to remember that it could get paid at any time during the day. So make sure you check late in the day, close to midnight Eastern time, just to make sure that invoice did not get paid late in the day. Usually it's going to get paid at the latest sometime 6, 7 o'clock Eastern time. But you want to check late in the day, because the day that invoice gets paid, you have to go place ads. So you want to make sure and catch it that very first day that it gets paid. That's a little bit of the problem with the bank deposit, is because you don't know exactly when that invoice is going to get paid. So that's it on the bank deposits. They work pretty well. Takes a couple days to get them processed, but they do work well. One other comment I'll make is do not do a bank wire. When you wire funds to a bank account, there can be additional fees charged to the recipient of the bank wire, and especially with international transactions, do not wire funds to TelexFREE, especially from an international bank. And I recommend just not doing bank wires. They're much more problematic. If you need to pay an invoice through a bank deposit, talk to your sponsor, find somebody in the U.S. that you can send money to and ask them to go make the bank deposit and send it in. That's much easier. If you do a bank wire, it's much harder to get it through. We've had a couple that we've had some issues with getting them recorded, so please don't use bank wires. Find somebody that can make the actual bank deposit for you. So that's it for this video. Thank you. Have a great day.